Boom, and we're live.
We're live. Truett Hanes, how we feeling, brother?
I'm feeling on top of the world right now. Yeah, I'm feeling good, man. What's this show called, technically? Do you have a name for it?
I think we're going to actually call it just the Dearden podcast. And the reason behind that is, I think...
You love your name.
Well, I just wanted to keep it authentic and for us to be able to chat about whatever we want to.
Yeah.
I don't want to pigeonhole us into fitness. I don't want to pigeonhole us into stuff. And at the end of the day, I've done a bit of research into podcast names, and I feel like the podcast market is pretty saturated. Every cool name has been taken.
Dude, honestly, I will say just real quick, emotional intelligence. You know that guy?
Yes, I do know that guy.
That's a pretty good name right there. And actually, he just had, we were just talking about him, Alfie Manthorpe.
Yeah.
Honestly, so fast. 27 minutes, 10K. We're just talking about his performance. He's legit, but one thing that he said about you, because you just went and ran with him in Iceland for 247, he was like, Jake's a great athlete, super fast, like the most dialed dude I've ever seen, but what stood out to me was he was talking about how kind you were and like how genuine you were, and I was like, that's cool. That people can say that about you and actually mean it. I think that's probably the most important thing that anyone could say, like about your character. So.
Oh, thank you, mate.
Yeah, dude.
And thank you, Alfie.
Yeah, shout out Alfie.
He will be listening to this. Alfie's a great guy. I think he's actually, that performance he just did, I think it's the third ever fastest 10K in like the British record.
That's
third
insane.
ever fastest. Which is crazy, considering he does quite a lot of his training on his own. He does the majority of his training on his own. It's cool. And we were just talking about that, actually. You train literally by yourself all the time.
Yeah.
How'd you find that?
You know...
And why did you do that instead of...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the solitude, and I find that if I don't rely on anyone else, then I'm never going to be disappointed. And it starts and ends with me. You know, so it's like if I fail, it's because of me, not because of my training partner, not because of my coach. It's because I didn't do enough. If I succeed, then it's not so much to where I'm like self-aggrandizing. It's like, man, I'm so great. That's why this happened. Usually it's like, well, my wife and I, or my dad and I, or like something other than myself. I don't really like to give myself too much credit, but what I do enjoy is that I don't have and I don't get to blame anyone else for how performances went. Begins and ends with me. I like the accountability of it. And also I just like that I don't have to go and meet up with someone. I don't have to drive anywhere. I literally just put on my shoes, head out the front door, same path every single day, and I just get after it. And that way I save time. I'm able to just go and get it done real quick, and then I can come home and hang out with my wife, watch Shrek, and that's what we like to do.
Oh, Shrek.
Dude,
what's your favorite Shrek? Which number?
You know, it's kind of funny because we've seen all of them so many times, but we were just watching Shrek 2 last night. And we finished it. My wife fell asleep. She knows how it ends, obviously. But I would say Shrek 2 just because movies typically don't have that great of sequels, but Shrek 2 it's the one that sticks out to me as the greatest sequel of all time because it's just a completely different story. It just adds layers and they turn into humans, and then the whole drama of it, Prince Charming. I don't know. I would say Shrek 2 probably surpasses Shrek 1 even, which is, that doesn't happen a lot.
Are you a big movie guy?
Huge movie guy. Yeah, no, when I was actually thinking, because you just roughly told me what we would talk about during this podcast, and I was like, you're like, outside of running, what do you like to do? And I'm like, I have to really think about that. But sports,
like Forrest Gump,
yeah,
just runs.
Yeah, I like to run. Obviously that's a huge part of my identity right now. Everything is kind of tied around that as far as how my day goes. It's usually all around running. But
do you let that impact your day or impact your feelings? If your run didn't go well, is it the worst day ever? If your run went well, is it the best day ever? Or do you kind of separate them emotions?
Yeah, it's weird because I don't really have bad running days ever.
Oh, here we go.
I kind of just make sure that that's not a thing that I'm dealing with. I go and I have like these runs that I schedule for myself, and then I make sure that I just go and nail that. But yeah, so when I'm not running, watching movies with my wife, hanging out with my wife. We like to go and eat. We like to go out and try new places. We'll go and travel to new places, see the world together. That's one thing that we've always just wanted to do by ourselves, and now we have each other. So then now we get to go and travel the world together.
Have you traveled anywhere nice the last kind of like year?
Yeah, Iceland, Mexico. She had never been outside of the country, outside of the U.S., so it's been nice.
That's
I feel like as a man, it's kind of nice to be able to show a woman the world. You know, I feel like every guy kind of takes pride in like, I can show you the world. So let's go and experience all these new places together. And she's just from a small Midwest town right outside of Chicago. And she had never, like I said, been outside of the country. And now we went to 2 different countries last year. And then we're going to 2 different countries this year for the London Marathon, and then Newfoundland and Canada to go and do the Telly 10. It's a 10-mile race. It's like the 98th year in a row that they've done it. And it's like one of the most historic 10-mile races. And I want to be able to run well there. But one of the companies I work with, Transparent Labs, their headquarters is out of Newfoundland. And then so I need to go and put the team on my back and run well there. So shout out to all the Canadians listening to this. I hope you guys are there.
The pressure's on.
That's right.
Have you got anywhere else on your bucket list of where you want to travel? Any places you want to see?
Honestly, we want to go. We love Antarctica because we love the history of Antarctica, and not a lot of people like. Normally, if someone's been to Antarctica, it's like, geez, why the heck would you go there? That's not really a travel destination. But it's because of like Shackleton, all the survival stories that you hear about dudes exploring the world and on these expeditions. And then normally things go disastrous. Like, it's a disaster. They go terribly wrong. But it's just cool to be able to go there and be like, yeah, I've been to that continent. Not a lot of people get to say that. So if my wife and I could go there, I think that'd be cool. And then, like I said, just kind of see the entire world. Yeah. We just want to go and experience it all. And the cool thing about being able to run is there's races all over the world. So I get to go and, 2 birds, 1 stone. See the world, do these races, and just allow our dreams to become true. So, my wife and we're a great team. And like you said, I wish she could have been here so that she could have chimed in and been on the podcast as well.
No,
but
we'll have an episode 2.
That's right. Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. I want to take it back to, obviously you've achieved many things over the years, and you're still young. You're still, you've got so many more things that you want to achieve. But
sure.
When for you did it all start? When did you think you had potential?
Yeah, dude, my dad really instilled into my brother and I that anything in this life is possible if you're willing to work for it. Like, he's a big advocate that he doesn't have any special talent. The only reason why he's been able to stand out is he's never quit in all of his life, just always getting better. People go through different phases of life, and like they can be great for 6 months and then they fall off, and then they come back and then they fall off, and then they never really stick with things. They're not really consistent. My dad is just the king of consistency. Every single day, he's going to make sure that he gets better in some way. So he told my brother and I, if we are just willing to work for something, we can make it happen. We can become as great as we want to be if you're willing to put in the necessary amount of work. And that's how we've operated our entire lives. No matter what it was, we just always had to outwork people, and that's how we've stood out. Like, I even think back to the 5th grade for us. So like you're 10 years old. My brother and I both set the school record for the mile. And the only reason why that was able to happen is on the weekends, we'd go and run with my dad. So we had to put in a little bit of extra work than everyone else. And with that, we were able to set the school record. So then it's like, okay, maybe my dad is telling the truth. You outwork everyone.
Forcing you?
Was he forcing us?
Like to go out and run at first? Like
yeah.
Not in the extreme way, but was
honestly, it's yes. Like, he would force us because I don't think any kid on the weekend, you want to go and have fun when you're a kid. You want to go and play with your friends. we would be able to do that as long as we went and did this with him. So it's like, this comes first. You go on a run with him. You get the miles done. Then you can go and play and do whatever. So we're like, fine. We'll go and do this. And then I think we built our identity around it, though. You know, like kids are looking for something. They're looking for positive reinforcement. He gave that to us in our physical accomplishments. It's like, it feels good to set the school record. You know, you're kind of the man. When you're a young kid and you're the fastest kid in school, everyone's like, dude, you are the man. You're going to go places. And then so yeah, that felt good for us, even though it hurt. It hurts to go and train. It hurts to go and run. Like, as you know, to be able to run that 222, how many times during training were you like out of breath, fighting for your life? It hurts, but then the accomplishment makes it all worth it. So to be able to understand that as a kid, like I said, we were 10 years old when we set the school record. That feels good, and that sets an impression in your mind. It's like, okay, if I want positive reinforcement, if I want people to like pat me on the back, then I just have to outwork everyone. So ever since then, like a young age, we just knew that's what it takes. That's what it takes to stand out, and that's what we've been willing to do our entire lives now, and that's just what we've built our identity around, because that's just what my dad, he led by example, and that's one thing that I want to tell parents is that you have to lead by example. You can't just tell them to go and do this without you doing it yourself. One thing about my dad is he was always out there with us. He would never ask us to do something that he wouldn't do. And it's just like, I don't know if you watched The Last Dance, the Michael Jordan documentary.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, you've seen it. Good, you know Jordan.
Sick.
Well, that's one thing. When I was watching it, we just watched it, I think, my third time I've seen it. And I watched it with my wife like 2 weeks ago. I just remembered, and this part stood out to me, was Jordan saying that he would never ask his teammates to do something that he wouldn't do. He was working just as hard as them, if not harder. But if you want to be able to be a champion, you have to put in work that no one else is willing to do. And then so he knew that, he understood that because he had done it himself. So he wasn't going to take it easy on these other guys. So my dad, it's like he understood how to stand out and how to make a name for yourself and how to outwork everyone, how to find success in this life. It's not going to come easy, but if you're willing to put in more work than everyone else, then that's your ticket out of this. And then so in order for us to understand that, we had to go along with them. And so we could see it firsthand. And I just think my dad, with the same mentality as Jordan, it's like we didn't love necessarily missing out on the weekends, hanging out at our friend's house, staying up to 3 a.m. or doing all-nighters because we had to go and run the next morning. But we did love the accomplishments that came with it. So it's like, dude, do you want to be great or do you want to be average? And he instilled in us that, like, if you want to be great, this is what it takes.
How grateful are you that you had someone like that in your life? Like, you had your father in your life telling you these things, these words of wisdom, getting you hyped up. And was there like anything that you said, any goal that you had where your dad said, no, that's a bit too far, that's a bit over the top? Or did he always believe in you, no matter what you've set out to do?
You know, I would say I'm grateful for it now as a 29-year-old. Like, I can see what he was trying to do now that I'm an adult. I'm like, man, I wish he would have pushed me even harder when I was a kid. But when I think back to when I was a kid, I didn't really love it. I was like...
Did you think he was just being mean, or...?
I thought it was a level of, he's so strict, he doesn't want me to have fun. This is more annoying than it is, like... I was more annoyed than I was grateful. And I didn't like that he was always trying to push us to be great. I was like, listen, this is what you want for us. This isn't what I want for myself.
Did you ever rebel?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I did. I rebelled so much to where we used to go out hunting with him. As you know, he's like the biggest bow hunter, biggest hunter in the world in general, like the most well-known hunter. And I'm his son, obviously. I stopped going out hunting with him altogether because I hated it so much. I hated the pressure that he put on me. I hated like how not fun it was. And I didn't like waking up at 4 a.m. on the weekends to go out hunting. I was like, Dad, I don't even want to be doing this. I don't like being yelled at. I don't like being pushed. This is terrible. I'm just not going to go. And then so from like 13 to I think about 20 years old, I didn't go hunting with him one time. And then when you get to a certain age, you're like, I think I can understand the point that he was trying to have. And because who wants to be average? Like when it really comes down to it, it's like you can either be great or you can be average. That was his whole thing. And there was a part of me, it was like, I understood what it felt like to be great. And then now it's a conscious choice for me to say, I don't want that. And that didn't feel good. So then right around 20, I was like, I think I want to see what this is all about. I want to adopt your mindset and I'm going to go all in. But there was a period of like complete rebellion. I mean, I even think with my cousin, we would go and when I was like 18, we'd go and like smoke cigarettes in the mall parking lot. And then, just like go and drink beers. Obviously, you're not supposed to do that when you're 18 here. I don't know about you guys, what your laws are, but I would just not care about trying to get better. I was like, dude, that is so lame. I just want to be cool. I just want to be chill. Smoke these cigarettes, American Spirits, light blue. Those, they last forever, by the way. Like the Marlboro Reds, they burn through so quick. American Spirits, they'll last you like a good 10 minutes. But anyway, I rebelled so much to where I didn't even want to have anything to do with my dad. Didn't want to hang out with him. Didn't want to go on a run with him. Just kind of live my own life because I think, he was trying to push me. He was trying to force me to be great is what it seemed like. And I just didn't want to do it. Until now, obviously, I've made that my entire identity is like trying to get better every single day. That's his mentality. And now it works. But there was a period of my life to where I didn't want anything to do with that. So
at age 20, what was the key reason you thought you're going to try out your dad's mindset and adopt it? Was there like something that just sparked that fire? Did you look in the mirror? Did somebody say something to you? Like, what was it looking back?
I think it came from me just looking around at the rest of the world in a sense. This is right around the time of like social media kind of blowing up because I never really cared too much about social media. And I think I was just seeing the world and seeing people that were like trying to get better, like Goggins, people in that sphere. And I was like, I honestly think I could do that. So I saw myself and I saw what I could be. And I saw what I was at that moment. And I was like, I was still going to the gym 7 days a week. Like I was extremely dedicated there because all I wanted to be in my life was to be jacked, be ripped. So even though I was smoking cigarettes, drinking beer, I would still had like a raging six pack because that's all that I cared about in that moment. All that I would do is I went to school, went to work, I would work out. So I was just like big gym guy.
What was work at the time?
Worked at a grocery store in a meat department. So it would be like 4 days a week. I would work from 2:30 to 11 p.m. And some days I'd get off at 11 p.m. and I'd go to the gym still. So it's like I'd get done working out at like midnight. So I still had that level of dedication. I still had that discipline that my dad instilled in us, just not in the running and not in truly performance. I was just looking for like aesthetics. I just wanted to be ripped. And I was able to achieve that. But then, like I said, with like seeing Goggins and seeing all these dudes getting after it, I was like, I think that I could do that because when I was 13, I ran a full marathon. And that
At 13?
At 13 years old.
Wow.
So like...
And why did you do that? Is it just random? Was it just like a bet?
My dad would have you think probably that it was my idea, but he's the one who brought it up. He's like, dude, I think it would be sweet if you ran a marathon. He's like, I think that you could do it. I think you have the talent and the discipline. And I was like, yeah, why not? So I did it. I trained with him. At this time, I was running track in school and I was on the basketball team. And then also on the weekends, I was training with my dad for the marathon. So I finished in 3 hours and 30 minutes when I was 13.
13, 3 hours 30.
And dude, I was a tiny dude. I was
I was that big.
I was this big. Like, I say that and it seems like a joke, but I was the smallest dude growing up in school, like in my grade. I think at this age I was probably 4'10", 60 pounds. But I remember at like mile 22 during that race, you know, I looked like a little guy. This one lady during the race when I was passing her, she was like, "Man, when you're all grown up, you're going to be winning this race." And ever since then, I just thought to myself, I was like, well, that's crazy. Like, there's no way that would ever happen. But now I'm thinking to myself, as a 29-year-old, I was like, maybe I could still win. This was the Eugene Marathon. I was like, maybe I could actually win that race now that I think about it. Because my goal right now is the Olympic trials. I have to run a sub 2:16. That time would win that race. So if I'm able to get to that shape, I should, in theory, be able to win the Eugene Marathon. And then that lady saying that, even after all these years, 16 years later, I still remember her saying that. And I'm still like, that could be me. I could win this race. It's just one of those things where, are you willing to work for it? And I guess we're going to see. I knew what it took to get to a certain level. I had felt it before in my life. So when I was 20, I was like, my 13-year-old self, what would happen if I brought that passion and that discipline back into my life? How far could I go? So there was like a little hint there of, I knew what it was like to be there before. Now let's get that back. Because I would rather, it's a Theodore Roosevelt quote, but it's better to fail than to never to try to succeed at all. So I was like, let's see what this is all about. Let's see how far I can go. And maybe I don't have a gift, maybe I don't have any talent. I guess we're going to find out, but I'd rather find out for myself than just sit idly by and watch my life pass me by.
That's so sick. When you was 20, did it take a couple of years to get into this, or was it like one day you're just in it? Or did it take a couple of attempts of trying, failing, maybe, however you started? Obviously, you said that you were super, super dedicated, but
Yep.
what was like the first goal? You're like, right, I'm going to try this. What was the first goal?
Yeah, so it seemed far-reaching at the time, and that's all that you can really go by is like you give yourself these little goals, and then you kind of see where you're at, and then you see if the next thing is possible. But for me, right around 20, my dad, he was like, listen, I think it would be sweet if you qualified for the Boston Marathon. So we trained for that 2 times a week.
Together?
Together. Yep. I'd go and meet him at his work. I was in college during the time, like I said. I'd go and meet him at his work for his lunch break, and we'd run 13 miles together. And we'd go around like 6:30 pace a mile. And so we'd do that for 13 miles, just twice a week. And then...
Just a half marathon twice a week. Right.
Well, and I say that because now I run every single day. And I was like, I don't know what I was thinking. Like, with twice a week, why did I think I'd get that much faster?
Was it his suggestion, the twice a week, or was it yours?
So one thing I found out about my dad is he is very tough. He's probably one of the toughest people I've ever come in contact with. But there's still so much that we're learning about marathon training. And back when I was 20, he's still kind of scratching the surface himself with like what he's capable of. I think he could PR the marathon this year, and he's 58. But I think like if he fine-tuned some of his training, he could run in the 240s for sure. But at this stage of our lives, I was 20. He's around his 50s. We just go and run a few times a week, and then that was good enough to where in 2019, so I would have been like 22 years old, I was able to run a 2:57 at the Eugene Marathon. So the same marathon that I ran 3 hours and 30 minutes when I was 13, I ran a 2:57. And then so I qualified for Boston. And Boston that following year, though, got canceled because of COVID. So I qualified, and then the race didn't happen. And then after that, I completely went away from running at all. So like I got the discipline, I got what I wanted, I got my goal, and then I was like, I think I just want to go back to being jacked again. I didn't start smoking cigarettes again or anything like that, but I just started lifting. I got married to my wife, and I was like, again, just kind of satisfied, just lifting, being big, starting to get into like some powerlifting. And then again, just in the back of my mind though, I was like, I wonder, my friend messaged me and he's like, hey dude, there's a 100-mile race out in Utah. I think you should sign up and do it. And at the time, the only form of training that I would do as far as cardio, go to the gym 7 days a week, but I'd walk my dog a mile a day. So I was walking the dog a mile a day. This is the heaviest I've ever been, like 194 pounds,
Wow.
Right around 200 pounds. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to sign up and try to do it, and we'll see what happens. So I was able to do it. That was very painful, by the way, because I didn't train at all. Like I said, it took me 32 hours. And I just walked like the whole thing. And I was like hallucinating and the whole, all
We still
of it.
got it done though. Like that's
Still got it done.
100 miles, no matter what pace you do it at,
Yeah.
is an achievement. Like it's so hard. I've only ever done 100 miler. Ended up doing 116 miles because I got lost. It was like self-navigation. But
Wait, when was that?
was it 4 years ago now? I think.
And what was that for?
I was exactly the same as you. I got obsessed with ultra running due to listening to David Goggins on Joe Rogan.
Freaking Goggins is getting everyone started, dude.
That's it. And I learned so much. I learned the mental toughness.
Yeah.
But I realized I wasn't healthy. And I don't know if you feel this sometimes when you're doing the crazy ultra endurance runs, but I was hobbling downstairs every day, and I got to the point where I just thought this was normal. And as a 24-year-old, I was explaining this to other people, and they were like, that's not normal.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be hobbling down the stairs every day. You didn't know. So I kind of switched. That was my kind of time to switch from just seeing how far I could physically run, which was great for the mental strength, but switching it over to performance and doing the shorter events. So maybe I might try and tackle like a 5K or something shorter, but it took still the same dedication within training. To get a fast 5K is, to this day, I feel like the guys that are running super, super fast 5Ks, I think is one of the most impressive things ever.
It is the most miserable race.
Yeah, it is.
Ever, dude, because it's a dead sprint just about, for 5K.
Yeah.
Hurts so bad.
But that was when I started to, I don't know, pay attention to my body a little bit more, but feel healthier and feel more like myself. So that's just me personally, but like I say, 100 miles, probably the toughest thing I've ever done, I think.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I'm sure you could rip it now. Like Iceland, how far did you run?
I think it was just short of 100 miles, but it was over a couple of days. But I think the average pace was anywhere between 330 kilometers to 4 kilometers. So what's that? That's like 530 mile in to 610 mile in. So it's fast.
Yeah. Jeez.
But that's with breaks. And
Right.
genuinely, that's one of the coolest things that I've ever done. The funniest thing I've ever done is speed projects, where you're doing an endurance relay race.
Right.
Because you get time to fuel, so you can always perform when you're out running. But two, nothing else matters in the world. And for me, with social media, I'm always thinking about what should I post next? What training have I got on? Proper first world problems. What are sponsors thinking? What are my requirements to do today? My to-do list, whatever it is. But it was kind of almost, running with a team is almost like an escape for me, because nothing else matters. I don't care about my recovery. I don't care about getting to bed on time, which when you're doing it for years in a row, like it's tough. But a couple of nights where I could have just, I don't care about what I'm eating. I just need fuel. I don't care about sleep, because it just is what it is. And when you're not running, you're in the back of a truck looking up at the stars. It's a clear night, and you're just talking, whether it's conspiracy theories or whatever you're talking about with the people that you care about. There's nothing better.
Well, dude, I've always said this, and I would recommend to anyone listening to this, if you have never done an ultra of any kind, you should definitely sign up and do one, because of that very reason. Normally, you're thinking about a million different things in life. Like, it's hard to shut your brain off. When you're doing an ultra, all you're thinking about is getting to the finish line.
It's like survival mode.
Yeah, dude, you're like,
Nothing else matters.
I don't care about anything else in my life. I just want to get this race done. And then so when you can just have a singular focus, maybe that's why I like the pull-ups too, the pull-up record, marathons, ultra marathons. It's hard to shut your brain off sometimes just with everything you have going on. You know, social media, you get people blowing you up for whatever the reason is. And then you have all these different things going on in the world. It's like, if you can just shut your brain off and focus on one thing, it's a good feeling sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's why I dig it. But yeah, and real quick, just to go back to my dad with like the Jordan mentality, one specific part was people would talk about Jordan being like a tyrant and saying that he's a bad guy, but they would say that about him because they've never won anything. And then so as kids, my brother and I, we might have viewed my dad as that at certain times. Bad guy, he's a tyrant, he doesn't want us to have fun. That was maybe true because we had never won anything, and we didn't understand what it took to win anything. My dad understood what it takes to be a winner, and he wanted us to be able to join in on that. He wanted us to understand that for ourselves. And it's not always going to be fun. It's not always going to be easy, but it's going to be worth it. So for anyone thinking that, like, you know, training is hard and I don't like suffering all that often, it's like, listen, it's supposed to be hard because you're going to be thankful that you put yourself through that when you cross that finish line and you achieve your goal. Trust me, it's worth it.
That's the only thing you remember on your deathbed. I've been told that in a way. I've never lied on my deathbed, but I feel like they're the things that you're going to be proud of. You're not going to remember the pain. Even looking back at your insane achievements, obviously you remember pain. You remember that it hurt, but you don't remember it as vividly as when it happened. And you always look back on, that's a good time. So that's why after a week, the first time you kind of cross the line of that ultra marathon, you say, I am never, ever, ever running again. That's what, every single time. Right. I don't know about you, but every single time you're like, I'm done with running. Like, I'm done with running. 2 days later, you're like, that wasn't that bad.
No.
Like, and you're just like, let's sign up to another one. You're literally signing up to another ultra marathon. I want to ask a question. So obviously you spoke very, very highly of your dad. Now that not that the tables have turned, because he's still, the most consistent guy that you probably know. Right. Are there any times where you have to pull him up and you're like, come on, Dad, you're getting lazy, or come on, like he's sleeping in or whatever, or do you let him do that because he's a little bit older? Yeah,
well, dude, I have to tell him that he needs to stretch. Like he seriously, I don't think.
So you're like his mom.
I don't think that he's ever touched his toes. Like he's so inflexible. I don't even know what the word is, but whatever it is, that's him. All he can do is work. Like his mind is like, if I'm not running and stacking miles, if I'm not out shooting my bow, if I'm not out doing the very thing that I need to do, like on performance day, whether that's like, you got to shoot your bow to kill an animal. You have to run to be able to run a race. He's very oriented, like his brain is fixated on, I got to do this task to get better at this task. Whereas like, I've kind of taken it to where I understand if I want to run faster, I also have to make sure that I'm healthy enough to run faster. So I need to stretch, I need to do hip mobility, I need a sauna, I need to take time off if it's necessary, whereas he's just always go, go, go. Sometimes you have to take a step back, especially when you have certain time goals, it's like, it's not going to happen by accident, and it's not going to happen just by stacking like random miles. You have to have like a certain structured plan. And that's one thing that he just hasn't tapped into yet. Even at 58, like he just said to me, I was just in Oregon this last week visiting my family, and I was on a track running 400s, just working on my leg turnover, working on getting faster. And he saw me doing that, and he's like, man, with you being able to run faster, it's starting to inspire me to be able to get to that level, because he's never once done speed work. He's always just been, I'm going to go and run the mountain.
It's just an engine, just a machine, like a diesel car.
Yeah, dude, he's just like, even when he was, so he was training for Cocodona 250-mile race, and he finished it, I think it took him like 84 hours. So it's like over 3 days, like 3.5 days of just nonstop go, go, go. He couldn't run because his hamstring had an injury to it. So all he could do was walk. And for this certain training week, he walked over 100 miles, just walking. And so it was about like 8 hours a day. So he's just out there walking. And in his mind, he's like, I need to be on my feet, getting better, or else I don't think I'm going to be able to perform. Whereas like some people would take that as a built-in excuse. It's like, well, I can't run anyway because I'm hurt. So obviously I'm going to take time off. And at the same time, he had a broken foot. So he ended up finishing Cocodona with injured leg, broken foot, still got it done. And that kind of summarizes my dad, like in a nutshell. It's like, why the hell would anyone do that to themselves? I don't know, but he did it, and he's a legend because of it. But yeah, as far as like actually being your best and performing to the best of your abilities, that's one thing he has not been able to do. He does that with hunting, I'd say.
Yeah. Because
like that's his pride and joy. That is how he's found his success. He's the best in the world at it. When it comes to running, though, I think there's a lot to learn still. And I'm happy that he's starting to take like stretching more seriously and things of that nature, because he's leaving so much time on the table when it comes to performing. And I hope he can learn a little bit from me there.
I think that's the beauty of elite running and getting to that elite standard. Going from good to great in running,
right,
is you can't just run more.
No.
I know some people are trying to test that limits. I think there's a guy called Jake, the ran to Japan guy.
Ran to Japan, yeah. Train harder, not smarter.
Yeah, train harder, not smarter. But I think even he acknowledges that you can't just keep increasing the miles and just hoping to get faster.
Right.
You have to optimize everything within your life, not just the training. And maybe that's what your dad is the best at, optimizing his training.
Yeah.
He can work harder than anyone else, and that has brought him to a point with running. But to get to that next level, you've got to optimize your sleep.
Yeah.
You've got to optimize your recovery, whether that's sauna, whether that's mobility, foam rolling. You've got to work on your technique. Like running technique, like there is no elite runner in the world that doesn't do specific sessions or drills where they're focusing on their technique, even when they still can run perfect form and they know they can run perfect form.
I'm starting to get into that myself, dude.
It's interesting.
I'm learning so much, to where I'm focusing on my mechanics now. I'm just trying to optimize everything. So, it's hard to be able to run to a certain level. You got to get everything dialed.
Yeah.
And for you, dude, I mean,
even like power to weight ratio, we're both struggling with that at the moment, I'd probably say.
Yeah.
Like, we're both a little bit bigger than we should be for running if we wanted to get to that elite standard. You're doing a great job, by the way, of dropping weight, but well,
dude, when you hear me say that I don't do any upper body exercises and I don't take creatine and I'm just letting like all my muscles kind of just like melt off my body, when you hear that, are you just like, I could never do that? Or what's your mindset?
No, I understand, because, and that's probably very similar. I think we're in very similar positions where right now in our lives, performance is over everything. It's over aesthetics. It's over, like, I couldn't care what I look like now.
Okay, yeah.
I want to achieve the goals that whether it's in high rocks, whether it's in running, I want to achieve my goals, and that's all I care about.
That's what I'm talking about.
I'm not bothered about. But maybe we think like that because we have been in shape, and we've kind of like been there and done that, and we want to try something new,
right?
And it's kind of moving on. I'm not saying that's not important. It definitely is important, but at the moment we're willing to sacrifice that, and I think that's just what we've got to do. Like, power to weight ratio matters within sport, especially the sport of running, where you're holding your own body weight, especially the sport of high rocks, where again it's really just 1 hour of being as efficient as possible through movements. So yeah, I credit you, but I understand how hard it is, especially when you spent all your life trying to get muscle.
Right.
You've literally, and now you're undoing it all. Not to a point where you'll never get it back, because you know, and I think that's probably one of the reasons why you're happy to let it go, because you know it'll come back.
And you know how to get it.
Yeah, you know how to get it, you know how to work hard, and muscle memory is an incredible thing. Where you, no matter how long you take off, you know, if you wanted to get jacked again, it'd take you 3 to 6 months and you'd be back there, because you've already built that muscle in your teens, in your early 20s. That's how I see it. And this is a chapter of your life where you need to dedicate it to performance. You've set a goal. Your one purpose is achieving the Olympic trials. That is your number one purpose at the moment. And if you don't achieve it, you're going to be kicking yourself. And you're going to be kicking yourself because you did too many push-ups or pull-ups.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So you need to sacrifice everything to achieve that.
Right. And how I view it, and I've said this on my YouTube series, but I'm viewing this as like a movie role. I'm getting myself ready for the role, and it's not the healthiest comparison, but like Christian Bale, when he was getting ready for The Machinist, he got down to like 118 pounds. And normally he was sitting around like 185, 200 pounds, filming Batman. And then he took it upon himself to lose all the weight and get ready for this role, because he felt like that's what was necessary to be able to perform to the best of his abilities and to honor that role. And I'm kind of just viewing that in the same light. It's like, in order for me to actually have a shot at reaching this goal, I need to get down and lose muscle and have that power to weight ratio. I need to get everything ready to be able to run fast. And then so I don't mind the sacrifice that comes with it. And it doesn't guarantee that I'm going to hit my goal. It doesn't guarantee that I'm going to run a sub 2:16 marathon. But if I didn't lose the weight, it guarantees that I won't hit that goal. So I would rather try than to never know. And that's where I'm sitting right now.
I think because you've picked a goal that is so out there, bigger than you ever thought would be possible, this goal.
Right.
Did you ever think that you was going to do this, 5 years ago, for example?
Absolutely not.
No. So, but and even now, I saw actually, I think it was on one of your stories, or it might have been a comment, and you said, I think I've got a 10% chance or something like this, or a 20% chance of achieving it. And that's because you've gone so big with your goal, and it's kind of this, shoot for the stars, land on the moon kind of mentality. Like, no matter if you don't hit it, you're going to do better than if you would have set an easier goal.
Right.
You would have done better. So what's wrong with setting big goals, big challenges? And I genuinely think you're going to do it. Like, you are going to do it. I understand, like, if I could place my bets, I don't know if I can bet, but if I could bet on that, I would bet on you achieving your goal because of how dedicated you are. And not just you,
I appreciate that.
The team around you. Your dad believes in you. Your wife believes in you. And these are the things that your family believes in you. These are the things that matter, because if they didn't believe in you and they weren't prepared to go through the sacrifices that they have to make for you to achieve your goal, like you were saying, like you and your wife are a dream team together.
Oh, yeah.
She helps prepare everything so you can go and execute and make it easier for you.
Yeah.
She's okay with sitting and watching Shrek for the 4th time this week. Like,
honestly, she's the one that puts it on.
Oh, right. Okay. there we go. Even better. But if you had someone that was the opposite of that, and oh, come on, let's go out. Let's go to bars all the time. Let's go to, I want to go on holiday every week, or I want to, why are you running all the time?
Yeah.
I want to spend more time with you.
Well,
it's that's not going to be productive, and
Right.
it will eventually break you,
Yeah.
and you will give into it sometimes.
Yeah, it takes a level of sacrifice from her end, and yeah, like you're saying, everything that you just said is exactly right. If the people closest to you believe in you, then you're doing something right. And I'll go back to, it's like, yeah, I have maybe a 10% chance of hitting this, but in order to achieve greatly,
By the way, you
have
said
to,
that, not me. I 100% over here. You said the 10%.
Heck yeah, man. No, it's fine. It's, a lot of people say it's like, I'm starting too late. I don't have the base that it takes. But in order to achieve greatly, you have to be willing to fail greatly. And that's part of what I'm okay with. I'm okay if that's the possibility. But with me, understanding that's part of it, I'm going to give everything, as we know. Everything is going into this one goal. And I'm going to be that much closer to achieving it than if I was to never even try at all. So I'm okay, no matter where I land. I need to know how fast I can run a marathon. I need to know that for myself. So whether that's 2:15, 2:17, maybe it's 2:21. I have no idea, but I'm going to find out. And I'm willing to find out. And I think a lot of people hopefully can take the lesson of be willing to find out for yourself. Don't let other people discourage you. Don't let other people say, no, this is all you can do. You're only ever going to be this good. Don't let other people get a say as to what you can accomplish in this life.
That's perfectly summed up. And an example that I could give in like another field completely, it's still endurance related, but carbohydrate intake.
Yeah.
Literally, I got slated 18 months ago because I said that I could take on more carbohydrates than 60 to 90 grams per hour. And I said that on a podcast, and people were like, he's lying. He's a fake. He's not doing that. That's impossible. And I got so much hate for this. And now the studies are coming out that cyclists are taking on 120 to 140 grams of carbohydrates every single hour. Runners are taking this to the level like. Speaking to professional runners, that they're trying and practicing with 100, 120 grams per hour whilst out running. And it was just one of these things that literally 18 months ago wasn't a thing. And now everyone's trying it.
Well, dude, it's impossible until someone does it.
Yeah. So you're going to achieve that goal, but let's break it down. So obviously the goal itself is the qualifying for the Olympic qualifiers. Mm-hmm. When does that take place? So it's for the 2028 Olympics, but when does it actually take
2028, place? I believe I have until April of 2028.
Okay, April of 2028.
So I have a little over 2 years to cut off on a qualifying course around a 2:29 at CIM. That was last month. So I need to cut off over 13 minutes off my marathon time in 2 years.
So we've got 2 years, 13 minutes, and you're going to have numerous attempts. Obviously, you've thought about attempts that you're going to have. Do you have a date in the diary for your first attempt yet? Or are you just going to gradually keep doing marathons and then gradually whittle down that time?
Yeah, I would say that CIM this upcoming year, it's in December, nice cool weather, fast course. Like I said, there's over 50 dudes just qualified at that course this last year. It's known for being a fast course, so I would say December of this year will be a great attempt. It'll be a great attempt at seeing where I'm at, and it'll be an honest effort, and then I have that next year still to see where I can get to. But I would say right now, CIM, December 2026.
First stop.
I'm going to give it a shot, and we'll see where I go. But I would say if I had to guess, the two teens this year, then I'd be on track of where I want it to be. But like I said, this is self-coached, self-organized, self-motivated, self-disciplined. I just want to see where I can get to this year, and then I have a lot of great resources for 2027 just to really dial it in if I need to. But the whole idea of me doing it by myself is I just want to show people that if you want something, if you truly are willing to put in the necessary amount of work, and you have a pair of shoes, you have a running trail, you have a winning mindset, then you can become anything you want in this world. So I guess we'll see if that lasts me all the way until the Olympic trials. But as of right now, that's the goal. Just doing it by myself, and we'll see how far I can go.
So we've got 30 minutes to take off. If you could talk about 3 points or 3 main areas of focus where you want to improve on to knock off them 30 minutes, I'd probably say start off with the first one being weight.
Yeah.
You're trying to drop weight at the moment.
So CIM, I was 164 the morning of, and then I just told you before this podcast I was 156 flat.
Crazy.
So 8 pounds. And then the math there is usually like 8 seconds per mile, with your fitness staying the same. So technically I ran, what was that, like 5:43 per mile at CIM, and then so that dropped me down to like 5:35 per mile. I need to get down to like 5:10 per mile in order to qualify for the trial. So what I would say, like the 3 main points: losing weight, I want to be more efficient. 5K time, I need to get that down because that's usually a great predictor of how much power you have.
What's your 5K at the moment? Or have you not really tested it?
I haven't really tested it. I just ran.
It's hard to find like a 5Ks.
Dude.
Well, I don't know if it is over here, but in the UK, we've got this thing called a park run, which is probably your easiest way of getting in. That's every Saturday.
Yeah, I see you always doing those.
Yeah, so basically, it's just it's not like chip timed or anything. It's not tracked or anything. Like literally, they set off a timer and you come in and somehow they know your time. Anyway,
you better not claim that as your PB because we got the running police after you.
We got the running police. You can't. Yeah, for FYI for anyone out there, please do not say that you've got a PB when you're just training. You're not allowed to do that, apparently.
You're not allowed to do that, man. You should be thrown in jail.
Yeah, it should be. The only time you're allowed to say that you've got a PB is if you've done it in an actual race. So just for people out there.
Gotta be careful.
Yeah, got to be careful. But so we've got these organised park runs. It's actually pretty cool. It's free.
Yeah.
And it's every Saturday. And I think there's like 300 around the country where it's organised events. And around like 200 to 300 people turn up. And you can just go. And people run it for fun. People race it. And it's probably the best way of kind of testing out your 5K in the UK. Obviously, there are other races and stuff like that are like official organised races, but park run's probably your best shot. What do you have around here? Do you have access to a lot of races, or do you have to travel?
Oh, there's a lot of races in Utah. There's a lot of great runners here in Utah. So there's a Provo crew out here that a lot of the dudes just qualified for the trials, and they've invited me out to come and run with them. And I think that I likely will at some point, just to be able to, you want to be able to run with dudes that are faster than you instead of thinking that you're the fastest man alive. It's like if you can go and be humble, if you can go and be humbled every once in a while, then that's good. So I'm not sure if they do like 5Ks, but they definitely put in work to where my 5K time would improve. Yeah. So like I said, if I could drop weight, improve my 5K time, and then my half marathon time, and also like 10K. It's like if you have good fast times to be able to show that like you can hold faster than a 5:10 pace over the course of a 10K half marathon, then you're on the right track to be able to run a fast marathon.
I think that definitely applies to someone like yourself who has got that ultra endurance mentality, and you know not to give up, because realistically, if you can run a half marathon at that time, like it, obviously it's double the distance, so you need to work on your endurance and things like that. But
sure.
You've got the mentality where you've done practice and you know what it's going to feel like.
Yep.
And so I think that you're right there, and it's cool that you've said that. So
yeah, dude. And then honestly, one of the biggest things I would say for me to being able to achieve this goal is just the mindset portion of it. I know that we always talk about, and it's like it seems like I have that on lock. It's like, oh yeah, you don't have to worry about him. He's just mentally tough. He's never going to be broken. But anyone you talk to, there's always going to be moments of doubt. Like even during this build and announcing the trials, there's like a little bit of doubt in the back of my mind. And I'm like, man, this is something to where I don't know if I can achieve it, because you have so many people in the running community that are telling you, you can't do this. You shouldn't even attempt it. It's disrespectful to even announce that this is your goal to people that can actually do it.
Is that what's been said? Disrespectful.
Dude, some people have said that. Some people have said that, and
it's
that's
disrespectful to dream big.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
And that's their take. And geez, I mean, I guess so. But the point is, if you are, I'm a person, you know, I'm a human. So you hear things like this from people that have done it, that have run 2:16 marathons. And then so you think to yourself, I wonder why they think that. And then maybe it's like, well, they're coming from a place of authority. Maybe I don't have what it takes, and they're trying to save me from some form of embarrassment. Whatever it is, our minds have so many different thoughts and doubts. And, you know, with self-belief, you have that majority of the time. For myself, I'm like, I believe in myself. I believe I can do this. A little bit of doubt creeps in. I'm human. So, like, that happens. But as long as I don't allow it to just completely deflate my goals, and I don't allow myself to become discouraged, and I keep working, and I keep putting in the necessary amount of work day in and day out, I think that I'll be able to achieve this goal. But just know that, like, when you're trying to accomplish something that seems far reaching for yourself, it's okay to have some uncertainty and some level of doubt. You're human. It's going to happen. But just don't allow it to dictate if you're going to go for something or not.
Do you know what I do to the people that that comment, or, you know, have something to say, have an opinion, a negative one, and they say it's offensive, or
Right.
you're not going to achieve your goals, or I think this is, you know, in the politest way, I think this is a bit too far-fetched. I message every single one of them, and I message to them saying, I respect your opinion. I appreciate you commenting what you commented. Do you have any advice on me being able to achieve this goal? If you don't think I can do it,
Yeah.
what's your advice? If I want to achieve it, what's your advice on helping me achieve it? Please help me.
What do they
because
say?
obviously you have words of wisdom.
Yeah.
And I want to hear them. I want to know, because all I'm trying to do is collect data and learn. And if you're holding something that you know that I'm not going to achieve that goal,
Mm-hmm.
and you know why I'm not going to achieve that goal, I want to know, and I want to try and overcome that. So you're kind of almost turning them haters, bringing them onto your team. And the replies are always so polite. They always want to help.
Yeah, that's right.
And they offer, like, they're writing paragraphs after paragraphs of nice things that you could literally do. And they all they want to do is help you, and maybe they've said it in the wrong words on the comments. That's what I always find.
Well, dude, I don't know if
it's actually quite nice to be able to speak to them guys that do doubt you.
I don't know if you're religious at all, but in the Bible, and I might botch this, I haven't said it in a while. I used to have these verses in my mind that I would say right before bed every single night, because it would kind of calm me down, and then I'd finish my night with a prayer. And usually I still do that if I don't fall asleep, because sometimes I just pass out. But it's like a gentle word stirs away, a harsh word stirs up wrath, but a gentle word like pushes away anger. And it's like, if you can meet anger with a gentle word, normally it catches people off guard. And it's obviously true, because that example that you just gave is like, if you would have said, yeah, right, dumbass, you have no idea what you're talking about, they would have come just full bore for you and been like, I knew that you were a dick. You're just an influencer. You're on, all you BPN guys think you're so hot shit, and you think that you're awesome, and you're not. But then it's like, the fact that you just said that, and you're like, oh, I'm going to ask for your advice, and like, I respect you and your opinion. Now they're your friend. And it's like, that goes a long way. If you can actually be kind to people, even though they didn't show you kindness, turn your cheek, then a lot of the times they're not going to hate you, and they want to help you out even. Maybe it's a little bit of like stroking their ego, and then they're like, yeah, that's right, you're asking me for help. But most of the time, they're expecting you to be angry, and then if you're not, it's like, oh man, actually, that's an honorable thing that he just did, and now he's asking for my advice, and I think that kind of goes back even to like what Alfie was saying about you. If you can be kind in the face of someone that's not being kind to you, just know that that's always going to be more powerful than being like, nah, man, you can't touch this. You can't touch me. I'm way better than you. It's like, that doesn't really help anyone out. And that's what sometimes I struggle with that. Sometimes I want to dunk on people and be like, yeah, you know what, I told you, but that's not really helping anyone. And it doesn't really help me. I don't really feel too much better when I do that. But if I do accomplish this goal, there's a lot of people that said I have a 0% chance of doing it. I'm a dumbass for even announcing this. I'm a moron. It's not going to happen. I'm not going to go out of my way to find all these people and be like, yeah, I told you so. But I just hope that they can take just an ounce of inspiration from what I was able to do, and that they can apply that to their own lives and their own goals, because there's no point in just, you want to make the world a better place is what I'm trying to say. And I think that you're doing that with the way that you respond to those people. And I hope that I can learn something from you and do that as well.
Mate, you're inspiring so many people. What inspired me was, obviously you said that David Goggins has had a massive like part of your life in trying to become the best athlete that you can be, but you went after his goal.
Yeah.
And you beat his goal.
Uh-huh.
And you got the pull-up record. Can you talk us through like just how much that took? Because I remember seeing it. I didn't follow you as like closely then, but I remember watching it from afar, and I can't fathom how you actually achieved that goal. Like still to this day, like I cannot. I think that's genuinely one of your most impressive achievements ever, and I still. If someone said, "Oh, how many do you think you could do in 24 hours?" I'd be like, "Well, not that many. Not even half of that. Not even half of that." Like, yeah.
Nah, dude, you'd be surprised. It really just comes down to training, just like anything. You know, I will say the way that I was able to accomplish that, I took advice from Goggins.
Just for the people, it was what, 10,001 pull-ups in 24 hours?
10,001 pull-ups in 24 hours was the record. So I've done it twice now. I did 8,100 back in 2023, and then that was broken, and a part of me was like, I know that I still have another level to reach. I think I can go back and get more. And then so I was able to get the 10,000. And, you know, I asked Goggins for advice there. He kind of helped coach me through it when I got to the very end and I was getting ready for the record day. He was like, how many reps are you doing per set? And at the time I was doing 10. So, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10. You're on the bar for a long time, and that just wears your muscles down, obviously. So he recommended that I drop down to like 6 per set. So you bang out 6 and then you rest.
How long are you resting for?
So you do a set of 6 every 30 seconds. So do 6, you have 30 seconds, looking at your watch, boom, 30 seconds is up, another 6. So it's like 12 a minute. I was able to do that for like 10 hours. And then
what?
But you have to
12
understand.
12 reps per minute.
Yeah.
For 10 hours.
Yeah, dude, it was, you know, and obviously like I took a couple breaks. You have to go and refuel. You have to take electrolytes to keep yourself from cramping and all that, and then redo the bandages. So like you'll fall off that time a little, but for the most part, you're sticking to that. It's like every 30 seconds, boom. So in your mind,
is it a specific pull-up that you have to do? Is it like a kipping pull-up? Is it just literally full extension over the bar?
Yeah,
that's it. Like, what's the rules?
Your feet can't cross, so you can't do that. And then no swinging motion. You just have to go full extension.
So strict pull-ups.
Boom. Yeah, because you have a camera angle right here, and it has to have your chin going over, and then you have to get full extension on the way down, so you have another camera angle from the front. So no cheater pull-ups, full reps, 10,001, 24 hours. So that's what I had to do. But in order, it's just like the saying with, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. When you look at the whole elephant.
So sorry, I've never heard that saying in my life. Heard that? No, never. How do you eat an elephant?
You look at an entire elephant and you're like, how the hell am I going to eat that thing? You know, because you see the whole thing as is, but if someone cuts off a piece and they hand it to you, you're like, well, I can eat this bite. And then, oh, I can eat this bite. They keep handing you like forks with a little bit of elephant on it. Before you know it, after 10,001 forks with a little bit of elephant on it, there's a big chunk off that elephant. And then you're like, oh, I see. So if I just keep taking a bite, it gets smaller and smaller and smaller. Instead of looking at the whole thing and saying, no way, you look at it bit by bit, and before you know it, you're done. So the way that I broke the pull-ups down was, I'm not going to look at 10,000. I have to do 10,000 reps. If I was to look at 10,000 and I did a set of 6, it looks like I didn't even chip away at that number. But if I just look at it as all you could focus on is the next set of 6, then boom, I can do 6. Boom, I can do 6. You let hours pass by, you're halfway there. So it seemed like it was impossible, but now you're halfway there. You can do it. Just keep doing that. Break it down bit by bit. Before you know it, you're at your goal. So it was super mental. You know, obviously you got to get yourself physically ready, but during training, again, just by myself in my garage or in my backyard, my friend built me this pull-up bar, and then I just put it in my backyard because I wanted to be outside and get some vitamin D. But just by myself, and how I would just stay sane during the training was break it down rep by rep. So that's the way that I was able to do it, just bit by bit, rep by rep. And that's really how you accomplish anything. It's just, you don't go out on a run and think to yourself, I got to run 10 miles today, and I'm not going to think about like how much I'm progressing until I get to that 10th mile. It's like, no, you have these little benchmarks. You get the first mile done, then the second mile done, third mile done, and then you realize you're getting closer to your goal. So just break it down to something that's digestible for you, and then before you know it, you're done with your goal.
I love that. I actually use that within the marathon. I just did. Just take each kilometer as it comes. Just get through each kilometer.
You get it.
You go through these highs and lows, and if you're going through a low and you've got 20k left, you're like, I might as well give up. I'm going to feel horrible for the next 20 kilometers. But if you think, oh, just get to the end of this kilometer.
Yeah.
By the time that you got to the end of the kilometer, you're in a completely different mindset, and you're like, oh, I'm actually feeling okay. And then there'll be a couple of kilometers you're feeling okay, and then you might go back into the low. Yep. It's just highs and lows of training. That's the thing that I find
life, dude.
Crazy. Yeah, it's life. But after every low, there's going to be a high.
Yep.
And you've just got to remind yourself that over and over again, and never ever end on a low. If you end on a low, the chance of you ending on a low again in your next training session, is likely. And I always play games in my head. Like, imagine a training session. If you complete the training session and complete what you set out to do, that's 1 point to you. If you don't finish it, then it's 1 point to the other team. And it's just like that. And you're building your mindset, or you're taking away from your mindset.
Yeah.
And like, if you don't finish, you're getting weaker. If you do finish, you're getting stronger.
Yeah,
dude. Simple as that.
And that is true, and I think a lot of people that compete will understand that. But I also, my wife recently told me this. One of her Legree instructors posted this on social media. Your best looks different every day. And, you know, it's kind of like a simple quote with a simple meaning, but often those can have like the largest impact. And it's true. It's like, I'm not going to absolutely crush every single day that comes my way. I'm not always going to crush my training runs. I'm not going to hit the pace that I was after every single run, but that was the best I could give that day. It's like, just give your best effort and allow that day to pass by, and just understand that that was your best you could give, but tomorrow is a whole new day, and maybe your best is going to look a lot better. But as long as you're willing to show up and keep showing up every single day, your best is going to improve that much better, and just keep getting higher and higher. And then before you know it, even when you have a bad day, it was a lot better than what you were before. So just understand that it's like, you're not always going to feel great. I don't always feel great, but I show up regardless.
And you do show up, and I think you've got this bulletproof mindset. What I've seen over probably the last 4 months of watching you, from afar, like say on YouTube, is you've started to, although your mindset is always get the miles done no matter what, you've also begun to listen to your body more.
Right.
and take time off when you need time off.
Yep.
And I think that's important as well. A lot of people are talking about this, this bulletproof David Goggins mindset where you run through every single pain going. He famously ran, was it Moab 240 with a knee that he needed injections just to take out the
Also, hold on, my phone's going off. My bad.
Inflammation. No, I don't stress. Just to take out the inflammation, and then he'd run again.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's not healthy, but he had a goal set and he wanted to finish that. And that's him. But with training, when you're in training as well, you can have your best training session, but if you're hurting yourself because you're kind of going all out, you're not going to be in the optimal state further down the line for the thing that actually matters, which is the race or whatever you're training for. So
I know.
When in training, do you think, I should actually stop and I should listen to my body?
Right.
My body's hurting. I need to potentially eat. I need to potentially rest a little bit more than I thought or planned.
Yeah.
How often does that come about for you? Or are you that hardcore that you never do that and you never listen to your body?
Well, honestly, that's another level of discipline is, some people think just pushing through is like the ultimate form of discipline and toughness, but sometimes doing less so that you can go harder the next day it's more impressive in my eyes, because you're saying, no, dude, I want to be able to improve to this level rather than just pushing through and getting through this run. And then now I'm not getting better truly because I'm really hurting myself in the long term. But yeah, I've had to start listening to myself now that have these certain time goals. I know that pushing through and just, even doing a little jog is not going to really help me to be able to achieve this goal that I now have. So it's I missed the New York Marathon because I was pushing myself so hard in training to where that week leading up, I couldn't run a mile faster than a 10-minute mile because my legs were so jacked up. I strained my hip flexor really bad, and my quads were strained to where I just think I kept pushing myself so hard day after day instead of taking any recovery days in between, because I was so set on wanting to prove people wrong. A lot of people were saying I could only run fast on a downhill course. So then I was like, okay, I'll show you. I'm going to run a fast time at New York. And I let that motivate me, proving people wrong rather than just trusting my training. So I was like, I'm going to go hard every single day to make sure that I hit my goal, rather than being disciplined and being I'm going to go hard on this day and then allow my easy days to be easy and my hard days to be hard. I'm just going to go hard every day. And I found out that I'm human after all. And I hurt myself and I had to pull out of that marathon. And that doesn't feel good. And it was all because I wasn't disciplined enough to be able to take easy days. And so it's how tough are you really if you just run yourself into the ground and then you can't even perform? So I understand that kind of helps sometimes with ultra running. But when it comes to marathons, it's a freaking completely different ballgame. It's either you can train and get faster and run a really fast marathon and you push your body to be able to run that fast, or you don't have what it takes because you didn't put in the necessary amount of work and training. So, and that shows up on race day. And that's one thing that I've just really had to train myself and hold myself to, is if my level of training isn't actually helping me, then I'm going to absolutely eat it on race day. And I can't afford to do that anymore. I've learned that lesson too many times over at this point. So like I said, I'm not blaming anyone because it's myself. I'm my own coach. So it's you got to be accountable, and there's a lot of trial and error there. And obviously having a real coach probably would keep me from learning those lessons, but I just find that it's a little bit more fun that way. It's being able to learn those lessons. And
I think you've almost got to go through them.
Yeah, I think you got to go through them, and I think I'm better because of it too. So I think I'm on the right path now, but yeah, dude, it's really hard, and I think it should be. So I'm not shying away from it.
That moves us nicely onto recovery, and I want to talk about the things that you implement into your recovery that helps you perform at this high standard that you perform at.
Yeah, so I stretch about like 30 minutes a day.
Is that morning, evening, after a session, before a session?
I like to do it after a run, just when my muscles are a little bit looser. And then so I'm just able to really maximize my stretching, I feel like. And then normally when I'm in the sauna, I have a sauna at my house. I do that for 20 minutes a day. And I'll stretch in there as well. So just making sure that I'm feeling limber and that I'm working through any pain that I might have. And I also walk my dog for about a mile or 2 miles a day. So that's just kind of active recovery. And I do that because I enjoy just shutting my brain off. I don't have to worry about pace. I don't have to worry about anything other than just hanging out with my dog and walking and being outside. So
do you listen to music, or no music, no nothing, just you and your thoughts when you're with your dog?
During that with my dog, I don't have any music or anything. Yeah, I just go out and enjoy the world, and no music, no distractions, and just hang out with her. And then when I'm on my runs, kind of depends, but I'll usually listen to music or a podcast. Sometimes nothing. If I just feel like if I just want to go and relax and just get the miles done and I'm not worried about pace that day, then I'll just go with no music even and no podcast.
What about sleep?
Sleep is huge. I mean, just last night, my wife and I were in bed by 9:30. Yeah, and then we wake up. We get about like 9 hours of sleep a night. And then we don't have any kids. We just have the German Shepherd, the big dog. So she wakes up at like 4 a.m. and I go and take her out every morning. But other than that, just able to get a full night's rest. And I think that is very critical. Obviously, it's just I can maximize my recovery and I feel good every morning.
Do you wake up naturally? Do you try and wake up naturally every morning, like no alarms? Or is there kind of like a cut-off where you're like, 8 a.m., this is the final time where I need to be up at this time? Or if you're tired, you sleep in?
Yeah, well, I don't like to sleep in, and I don't take any naps or anything like that because I just feel like it's such a waste of time. I get up at like 6:30 just so that I can I enjoy my mornings more than anything, like just eat my breakfast. It's the same breakfast every morning.
What's the breakfast?
4 eggs, sourdough toast, about 120 grams, half a tablespoon of butter, half a tablespoon of honey on the sourdough, and then Black Rifle coffee with creamer and stevia for like a little bit of sweetener, vanilla stevia. And I have that every morning, and I look forward to it every single morning. And then so it's like the necessary amount of protein, carbs, and then I get on with my day, and that's just how every morning starts. And that's like, honestly, like one of the most enjoyable part of my days is just getting started for the day. And it's like, all right, let's get ready to attack.
That's sick. Are you spending that alone? Are you spending that with the dog, Bazari, with your wife?
With my wife every morning. Yeah, so we do just about everything together, except for training. Sometimes she'll come and ride her bike next to me during training, but yeah, it's my wife and I. It's just, like I said, we don't have any family out here, so it's just her and I and the dog. And it works for us, dude. We love each other. We love to do the same things together. And I always say this to people, but my wife's has like the most Jordan mentality about like anyone that I know.
Oh, so she is the one behind it all. She's the tough one.
She's freaking tough. She gets it. She knows what it takes to be great. She knows what it takes to be a winner.
Is there any times where she has to say, come on, Truett, like, you said you was going to do this. Let's get it done.
There's really a couple moments that I can think back to. One day during training for the 8100 when I broke the record in 2023, I was getting ready to quit altogether. And it was just a really low point during training because I was like, I had to do 3,000 that day. I got to 800. And I told my wife that I was done. I was like, listen, I'm done training. I don't even think I can get this record. I'm too heavy. All these different excuses. And she was like, I don't understand what you're saying to me right now. She's like, this isn't who you are. You know what it takes to get this done. And why don't you just try again tomorrow? It's like, you just don't feel that great today. And it goes back to like, give your best. Your best looks different every day type of deal. But
So did you leave that session just doing 800?
Yeah. I
And then-
left that day just doing 800. Kind of.
Sorry, 800 pull-ups in a day. Like
That's a failure for
and
me. I guess.
that's a failure. He was going to do 3,000 that day.
Yeah.
You only did 800, but you walked away pissed off, but you still got it to it the next day.
And that's what I want people to understand is the mindset. It's never unbreakable. You're always going to have low points. You're always you're close to not doing something. That's why it's like, it's a miracle when everything goes right and you accomplish your goal. If your goals are big enough, they require everything from you. And that's why it's so sweet when you get to the end. It's like, it took everything from you. So now you should be proud of yourself that you're able to do it. That's why I want people to aim high, because a lot of the times people set their sights too low, I feel like. But if you aim high, then at least, you're going to be that much better for doing that, for setting your sights high. But so I stopped at 800, was supposed to do 3,000, technically failed that day, and just came back, I believe, maybe 2 days later, and then just started training for it again. So that was in May. 5 months later, set the record in October. And it's like I had that moment of weakness, but 5 months later, I was victorious because I stuck with it. So you have a low point. Don't let that define you. Keep working at it. And then before you know it, you conquered your goal. But yeah, my wife, there's another point where I won the East Canyon Marathon out here, got first place, finished with the time of 2:37. And I remember after that race, it was 2 weeks after the Leadville 100, I told her it was just so painful because I think my body hadn't recovered fully from Leadville. I was like, I seriously don't know if I'm going to be able to run the trials time. I was like, that was 20 minutes slower, and that just crushed me. And she was like, well, you just ran 100 miles 2 weeks ago. Like, what'd you expect? She's like, you shouldn't expect yourself to feel great because you just did that. And just kind of reminded me that, this is expected and not every day is great. And as long as you stick with it, I know that you're going to be able to accomplish your goal. So I need that sometimes from her. She's everything to me. A lot of the times she's my source of inspiration, my best friend, the love of my life. And she holds me accountable. So when I go and train, to myself, what I think to myself is, I want to make sure that I'm also respecting her and her sacrifice, because she's in this with me. She's out there videotaping me. She believes in me. And who am I to not give my best on this day? I want to honor her and her sacrifice and what she means to me. So I want to make sure that I'm giving her my best.
That's so sick. So she's your superpower.
That's right.
Any other recovery methods that we didn't touch on there that you'd give kind of like advice on, or like you want people to implement if they're going after their own goals?
Diet is huge.
What's your nutrition looking like?
I say it all the time, but now I've switched my diet from being primarily high protein to low carb. That's kind of like the bodybuilder ways of like getting shredded. Now I'm like still a decent amount of protein, about like 160 grams of protein a day.
So we're talking like a gram per pound?
Around there.
Body weight?
Yeah. Yeah, just so that I can recover fully. But carbs are my main form of
They're your
nutrition.
superpower right now.
They're my other superpower, other than my wife. Carbs and my wife. But yeah, it's like 420 grams of carbs a day, just about, like right around there. I track every single thing that I eat. I'm pretty dialed when it comes to that, because I found that I cannot lose any weight at all, and I can't optimize if I'm not tracking my food. It's just too much guesswork. I like
it's
that.
It's like a bank balance.
Yeah.
You check it every day. You're going to see progress.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all that it is. And I know some people are like, well, I don't want it to be an unhealthy habit. But for me, it's discipline is freedom. It's like when I can see how much I've actually eaten, then I know it's like I can still enjoy myself, I feel like. I put in enough work to where I can eat just about anything I want, and it's not really a hindrance to me in my lifestyle. But yeah, diet is huge. If you think diet's not important, then you got to check yourself.
Do you try and get your greens in? Do you get like your fruit, your vegetables?
I love fruit. I have a banana and apple once, mostly twice a day. And then greens will usually around dinner time.
Yeah.
I'll have some vegetables, but yeah, my wife, she's a rock star and she's huge there as well. She's like my nutritionist.
Yeah,
So
sick.
yeah, she's always cooking up the best stuff. We have steak all the time, ground beef. We get it from a local farm here, and it's just like grass fed, free roaming cows that are just, they live great lives, as great as they can live here. And then, yeah, we just get half a cow every year, or like
Oh, so you kind of get,
maybe like every 6 months.
and then you just have a big freezer?
Yeah.
And then, wow.
Yep. And then my dad, he kills an elk here every year that I go out with him.
Does he give
here
it
in
you,
Utah.
or is he kind enough to give it you, or is he?
He gives me half the elk.
Oh,
So yeah, we have that. So between half an elk, half a cow, that lasts us a while.
Yeah, that's cool. That's really cool. How is it? Do you feel? Obviously, like you said, you get it from either a butcher's near you, or you go and hunt it yourself. Do you feel a difference in the quality?
Oh yeah, dude, it tastes so much better. Like we went and bought store-bought or the beef from a local grocery store, and it just tastes so watered down for whatever reason. It's like it doesn't even taste like how beef should taste compared to the cows that we get out here from the local farmer. It just has so much of a richer taste. But yeah, I noticed a huge difference.
Crazy. I was actually speaking to someone who like delivers chickens, like chicken breast, and not makes chicken breast obviously, but kind of like delivers it to supermarkets and stuff. And they were saying, I think it was in Doha, so the Middle East, and they were saying what they do, a technique that they do is they inject it with this substance that is basically water and sugar mixed, water, sugar and salt mixed, and they inject the chicken breast with it so it tastes nicer, and it's like better for cooking and stuff like that. Obviously it has its pros, but do you really want your chicken injected with sugar? I don't know.
Personally, I'm good.
Yeah, so each to their own, and I'm not gonna lie, unfortunately I'd probably say I have to buy all my stuff from the supermarket.
Yeah.
So, but I think it's still better than eating out all the time and not knowing exactly what's going in your food. So try and keep everything as healthy as possible within reason. We like, obviously, to enjoy ourselves every now and again. I think that's a great stress release as well. I've seen on your YouTube sometimes you'll go to a nice restaurant.
Oh yeah.
What's your favorite cuisine? What's your favorite type of food?
Well, dude, we
to
got
eat out with.
I mean, just tomorrow night we have a reservation to this Italian place.
Ooh, nice.
I love pasta. Well, my wife and I, we got this local pizza joint around here called Slackwater. Double pepperoni, hot honey. It is so good.
Hot honey's the rage at the moment on pizza, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's all
Sick.
the rage. But yeah, my wife and I freaking go to town on that place. So
Well,
I
you
would
just
say
try and do that like once a week or something, like go out for food, or
it's usually like around once a week.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
cool.
so I mean that's one of the things that we like to do in our free time. We watch movies, we go out to eat, new places, take the dog for a walk. We like to read, but yeah, dude, the food.
Do you read to each other or do you read separately?
Now
Sounds strange, but
yeah, no, we read separately.
No.
Yeah, but we'll just lay there in bed and just read our books. Normally, it's like she'll read a book, tell me if it's good or not, if it's worth my time, and then I'll read it after her. But we have like similar interests there. It's usually survival books, just talking about like human survival and human nature. So
interesting. I want to go through some like quick fire questions.
yeah,
So you mentioned, I always like to ask this one just because I feel like it's interesting to me anyway.
Yeah.
And it's what I care about. But if you was to make a meal for someone else, what would your meal be? What do you make the best out of anything?
dude, that's a great question. It is scrambled eggs.
Scrambled eggs, right? Okay, I thought you was going to say like steak. Normally it's like steak. And I think steak is a little bit of a cop-out because it's quite easy steak. Once you get the hang of it, like obviously cooking the perfect steak, yes, it's hard, but yeah, scrambled eggs, right? Okay, so go on, talk us through your scrambled egg making because everyone does it different.
Everyone does do it different. What I find is, either people overcook them and it's like they're kind of rubbery, or they don't cook them enough and they're a little bit snotty. Like someone just freaking did a snot rocket in there. But nah, dude, I do it perfect. I feel like. And then so if someone wants scrambled eggs, I'm hosting. Your boy's got your back. And then, my wife makes a sourdough, so I can't take credit there, but I can certainly put it in the toaster for you. So if you want sourdough toast and scrambled eggs, come to my house. I'll serve it up.
Come over to Truett's. He's got it. That's sick. Next one, best habit you have. So the best thing that you do, maybe every day, just one thing that other people could like take up and improve their life. One habit.
One habit that I do that's a difference maker. I would say taking my dog for a walk. It's like, and you don't even need a dog to do it, but just going out for a walk for like 20 to 30 minutes a day. I just find...
So you don't find it's a bit strange if you've not got a dog and you're a man just walking aimlessly?
So
it's a little bit weird.
I'll agree with you there. It's so funny. It's like people's defenses go way down when you have a dog with you. They're like, it's just a guy and his dog. But if you're out there walking around, your hood up, hands in your pockets, just checking people out, they're like, who the heck is this guy? But yeah, okay, maybe get a dog, go and adopt a dog, and then take it for a walk. But 20 to 30 minutes a day, even like picking up the dog's poop and going around, seeing the sights, not listening to any music, just listening to yourself breathe and just thinking about thinking just like with quietness and not looking at your phone. I don't even take my phone with me. I'm unplugged. I'm like a freaking hippie yoga master. The point is, don't bring your phone. Just think your own thoughts and hang out with your dog if you have one. And just go for a stroll. I just find that like that is where I'm able to do some of my best thinking.
Yeah, that's your therapy.
That's my therapy.
Spinning it. What's the worst habit you have? Because everyone has bad habits. Like one that you've not kicked yet. Like there must be something.
Man, my worst habit. Yeah, let's see. Can I think of something good? Is there anything I'm hiding?
I'll go mine whilst we're waiting. Mine is being messy. I am a little bit messy. Like,
in what way?
I just, forget to clean up after myself sometimes. Like I'll leave stuff out. I'll just like aimless. Like I'll leave cupboard doors open and stuff like that. Like sometimes,
damn,
like
dude.
after. Yeah, I know you probably look at me a little bit different now, but
oh, definitely. No, you live with your girlfriend?
Yeah, I live with my girlfriend, but she's not any better.
Oh, really?
No, but she likes to think she is, but I don't think she is.
Dude, I was gonna say.
Tom's shaking his head. She's definitely not better.
I was gonna say, my wife, not a chance that would happen in my house.
Would she tell you off?
Dude, like I said, that Jordan mentality, it finds itself into being clean around the house and picking up after yourself.
I've never seen that on any YouTube, like with cleaning gloves on, scrubbing. Like, I've never seen that.
Nah, dude, I'm doing the dishes. She does the laundry, but like I pick up after myself and no shoes in the house and just helping where I can. Honestly, I'm trying to think bad habits, man. Sometimes I don't pick up the dog poop, and there's like 30 piles out there, and then
But you always pick it up when you're on a walk.
Always pick it, yeah, dude, for sure.
Unless you're like in a woodland where like you're off track and.
Yeah, that's disrespectful. I feel like if you're even when I'm out there, I have little poop bags on my leash, and then I'm always picking it up. Yeah. I don't want someone to step in that, so. Honestly, I can't think of any bad habits as of right now, man. It's crazy,
Mr.
but
perfect. No, I'll take that one. Like just leaving the dog poops outside. I think.
Just in my backyard. Yeah, dude. It is what it is.
And like someone comes around and and then you're like, oh, I forgot, and like, oh, it's the worst thing ever. Like I can relate. I got a German Shepherd.
Okay, yeah, you do too.
Yeah. German Shepherd. She's called Penny.
Those big dumps for sure.
Yeah, they're great, and they're the best. They're the most loyal dogs in the world.
Yeah, no, they're awesome.
And they're so friendly behind closed doors. Mm-hmm. Maybe not when the postman's at the door or someone's knocking on, but
oh my gosh, dude, yeah, she'd lose her mind.
Yeah, but then Like when it's just you guys, like they're the best, aren't they?
I know. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. No, best dog. Biggest regret.
Biggest regret. Damn, dude, these are.
I know. This is deep now. This is pretty deep. Mine would be playing too much PlayStation 2 when I was younger.
Dang, did it really grab a hold of you?
Oh yeah, PlayStation 2. Like
what game?
From the ages of 5 to, I'd probably say 5 to like 14. I'd probably say, just playing too many computer games. Simpsons Hit and Run. Do you remember that?
Yeah, dude, that was I would play that at my friend's house. That game was addictive. If I would have had that in my house, I would have been right there with you.
GTA, I think.
I had
San Andreas.
I had Saints Row. You ever played that one?
Yeah.
And
yeah,
dude,
it's very similar.
I made the mistake of I had a samurai sword, my character did, and my mom was watching me play it, and I went up to just a random person on the sidewalk and stabbed them with a samurai sword. And my mom was like, "What kind of game is this?" Took it away, and I was like, "Well, I shouldn't have done that. I should have probably just stole a car." But bad habit. I don't do it anymore, but I used to chew nicotine, like tobacco.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I used to do that, and when I worked at that grocery store, I'd get off at like 11 p.m., and I would drive by the gas station and be like, nah, I don't need it tonight, but then I would always find, like, it's so addicting, the nicotine is. I would always just pull back. Like, sometimes I would drive home, and then I'd be like, nah, I'm just going to go home and grab it real quick. And then so I would do that. I did that for a few years. My brother actually got me onto that, so shout out Tanner. Thank you for that.
I love that. I've actually got a question
about.
I've got a question about like say nicotine, especially, but like addictive substances.
Yeah.
I've never once tried nicotine, but
oh, dude, it's great.
But that's the thing. People say, like, once you give up, once you kick a habit, 66 days, whatever it is, a year down the line, like, you never think about it again. And it's so easy. The more and more I speak to people, the more and more, like, an addiction, if you had a problem, not a problem with it, but if it was an addictive substance, it still does come into your mind, and you still think, oh, like, I'd love to have that again. Like, it's funny. Tom's the one. Like, he stopped vaping, and he kicked vaping. One of the most impressive things I've ever seen, because he literally came in one day and he was like, "I'm going to stop vaping," and he never touched it again.
Really?
But
Never again?
He'll admit that when he sees other people doing it, or if he drives past a petrol station, like, the thought comes into his head. Yeah. Does it ever happen with you, or is it kind of like once an addiction has gone, you never ever think about it again? Or do you think, oh, that's good? Well, dude,
honestly, the Zins.
Yeah.
I'm sure, is that big where you get?
No, it is. Yeah, because well, it's huge. Probably the biggest thing is it's overtook vaping, I think.
Yeah, so it's not like tobacco. It gets like in your teeth, causes gum cancer from the tobacco, obviously. So I don't really find myself gravitating towards that. But when I was just in Oregon at my parents' house, my brother he takes Zins. He popped it open, and I was like, yo, give me one of those. Even though it's been like, I completely kicked the habit, so to speak. I'd see someone with like a Zin, I'm like, just give me one. I won't go and buy it myself, but if there's one around, I'm just like, sure, why not?
No, I love it, because for someone who, like, say, has never tried it or anything, like, I always, everyone says about habits, like, oh, after you're done with the habit, you never think about it again. And it's simply not true. You've got to
That's
withdraw
not true at
from,
all, man.
You've got to withdraw from that action for the rest of your life. But you will always have thoughts about it.
Nicotine in general, people relapse with that drug more than any other drug, I think, just because it's so widespread and people have it all the time.
So accessible.
So accessible, yeah. But it calls your name. Like, you see someone around you doing it, you're like, it's not going to hurt just doing it one time, right?
And it seems to, like, they've taken away the majority of the downsides from smoking a cigarette. There are hardly any downsides now to having nicotine. Obviously, like you say, the Zins might be potentially bad for you. I don't know. I've not done the research.
People don't know.
Yeah. Sorry?
Oh, microplastics.
Oh, microplastics as well.
Yeah, true, dude. I mean, we don't really know because they're kind of, they're new.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that they're going to be like killing us in 10 years.
Good on you for kicking that.
Kind of, I guess. Unless you guys have one right now, then hey, let's. But yeah, dude. I mean, cigarettes. I would say I used to smoke. It was never a huge deal. I used to smoke just like one a day with my cousin in the mall parking lot. I did that for like a couple of years, and it was just kind of like we would listen to music, turn the music on, keep the doors open, just smoke a cigarette, and then it was just kind of fun, like bonding between him and I. But no, it was never like that big of a deal. But yeah, the Zens, now that's dangerous. If you've never done it, don't do it. If you have done it, then maybe don't do it all the time.
There we go. So would you say that's your biggest regret, like starting or not? Or do you,
It doesn't.
Yeah, you don't.
It doesn't
bother
really.
you.
I mean, unless maybe I have mouth cancer when I'm later, when I'm older, then it's definitely going to be a regret of mine. So I guess we'll see.
I love that.
Time will tell.
I love that. If you could only do one for the rest of your life, pull-ups or running?
God dang, dude. That's a tough one, but I will say it has to be, like, I have to stick with running.
Well, that's your goal. That's your future.
That's my
especially in the next 3 years, anyway.
That's my future as of right now. And when you just think about it, I love to run with my dad. It's the way that we bond. We've kind of like formed our relationship around getting after it on the trails. You can't really do that with pull-ups. You know what? You're just hanging on the bar together and you're just going forever. It's not going to happen. He's not really even that good at pull-ups. He's good at running, though.
Oh, he's not good at pull-ups.
Dude, he worked out with Travis Barker, Blink 182.
Yeah.
He worked out with him, and they did, like, I think 4 sets of 10, and my dad did it. He said he could hardly even do it, but he was sore for a week. And it's just one of those things where if you don't do pull-ups all the time, you're just not going to be good at it. It's not really a workout a lot of people prioritize. I've just kind of been weird in that way. But running, definitely running because I like to be outside too.
Yeah, that's cool. And then I want to go deep for this last one. Obviously, well, you could do it forever, but what do you see yourself doing for the rest of your life? Do you see yourself doing this, or do you think you'll end up retiring? Or do you want to retire? Like, just that whole thing. What do you think the future's looking like for you?
Dude, I don't think that I could ever stop trying to chase goals. Just the way that my mind works, I'd be very interested in seeing if that's even a possibility for me. My mom thought it was impressive that I've been able to stop doing push-ups and pull-ups because just the way that I've always been, I'm always working out all day long. Just like it's hard for me to sit still. Even when I'm watching TV, I'll just be like doing push-ups for whatever reason. It's just in my mind, I'm like, I'm getting better right now. Like everyone else taking a break, not me. I'm getting better. So it's a little bit of like, it's weird that I've been able to switch that off now that I've just gone all in on running. But for me to not have something that I'm working towards or not trying to done something that I've never done before, I'd be very surprised. Just as long as I live, I think that I'm probably going to run myself into the ground. Just seeing the way that my dad is too. Like we were talking about how every man needs a purpose in their life, and without one, you just kind of feel lost. And I was talking to him, and I could just see on his face that he can't be absent from chasing something either. Even though he's 58 and he's regarded as the greatest hunter of all time and he has all these accomplishments, he still has that hunger like he's never succeeded at anything. And then so I just think that the way that you're wired when you get to a certain level is I need to have a mountain to climb. I don't think that it goes away. So if I had to guess, I'm never going to reach the top of the mountain, but I think I'm okay because I love the process, not necessarily chasing an outcome right now.
Is there anything that you see yourself chasing? Apart from running, obviously you've conquered, you're conquering at the moment, running. Do you think it'll always be running? Obviously you've done pull-ups in the past, you've done other things, but is there anything that you have an inkling, you're like, oh, that's a scratch I'd love to itch?
You know, I don't think so. I think that I have this goal, which is...
You can't see past it?
I can't really see past it, and I don't think that I want to, and I don't think that I should, because that would mean that you're thinking about life outside of this, and I think just right now for what it's going to take, I need to be all in on this. And I try to take every day as it comes. You know, tomorrow has enough trouble of its own, so just focus on today. And I think that once I get there, I'll have an answer for you. But as of right now, I just want to be able to focus on this goal. And in the meantime, be the best that I can be in my personal life, and to the relationships that I have, like being a brother, being a son, nephew, grandson. I just want to be the best that I can be in all these different facets of my life. And I hope that I can just continue to be the best that I can be for my whole life, and hopefully leave the world a better place. You know, that's really the main goal. So,
no, I think that's smart. I think you can't be all in on something if you're seeing past it.
Yep.
You need to lock in.
Yeah.
Do or die.
Lock in, baby. Just like Davis Clark, if you know who that is. Do you know Davis Clark?
No, I don't.
He's the guy who shit his pants at the Boston Marathon.
Oh, right.
I don't know if you ever saw that video. Anyway, he kind of made you got to get locked in. Like he was so locked in that he didn't even care that he went to the bathroom.
Yeah, we have in the UK, Paula Ratcliffe, was it, Tom? Paula Ratcliffe, I think she did the same in like one of the Olympics.
I think I've seen that video.
Yeah, and she like throws it to the side or something like that. Like, it's proper, but
Dude,
that's what it takes.
Some people are different, but yeah, Davis Clark, shout out to him. He's an animal, and like the level to even get there mentally, to be like, I don't care about these bowel movements. I'm gonna freaking push to the limit. He's a dog because of it. Nothing but respect for Davis. But yeah, man, hey, I appreciate the conversation. And
no, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah,
that
this
was
has been
brilliant.
fun.
Should we wrap it up there?
I think so, and got to get some miles in and
let's go.
and hang out. But yeah, dude, great meeting you, and
food.
Excited to see what you can accomplish as well. So
Thank
I'll be tuning in.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Cheers.